Welcome home, masters and misses. My name is HidoriKuro, and welcome to my brand new YouTube series called House Odyssey Reacts. As you can tell from the name, it is where I, the host and proprietor of House Odyssey, will be reacting to videos recommended by you, the masters and misses, through BlueSky, social media, what have you. Also, whatever catches my interest at the time. I can't guarantee this will be a full-blown series as time constraints, as well as I have no idea how to do proper recording for something like this on my own. But, hey, might be a fun thing to do. Not to mention, I need to do more content outside of streaming. I really do. And I need to stop procrastinating on it. This is going to be one of my first steps towards that. And we'll be starting with, you guessed it from the title, a reaction from a death battle. I am actually a big fan of Death Battle since before Rooster Teeth shut down, unfortunately. One of my favorite Death Battles had to be between Joker and Sweet Tooth. Because that one made me laugh so much for no reason. Another one that made me laugh was Deadpool versus The Mask. That one was so one-sided, but it was so hilarious to see. And I wish I could rewatch that for the first time again. This one, I can tell it's going to be particularly brutal, as this is going to be between Kratos and Asura. The Ghost of Sparta versus... I don't know what Asura's title is, because I never played Asura's Wrath. Crazy, I know. The thing is, I grew up on Nintendo games almost all my life throughout childhood, and I was never old enough to play God of War when it originally came out. So, majority of the stuff I know from God of War and Asura's Wrath came from social media like TikTok and YouTube. Luckily, we have Boomstick and Wiz to help remedy that for us. So, if you'd like to join me on this, have a seat, enjoy your coffee, and let's begin, shall we? Now, one thing I will say is that this is my first time trying to do any reacts and recording videos. I don't really have an overlay for this kind of thing, so bear with me. There may be some hiccups here and there that I'm not used to doing with reacting to videos. But what I can guarantee is that we're going to have some fun with this, because this is going to be a blind reaction to all this, and I'm going to enjoy it. So, let's get this show on the road, shall we? Oh, I can already tell from the animation it's going to be a good one.
Kratos versus Asura.
The Ghost of Sparta versus the Wrathful Destructor.
Wrathful Destructor, that's what they call him.
You just want to punch a god in the face. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win
A death battle. I love that intro.
In the beginning, the Primordials waged war across existence, a series of cosmic clashes that birthed the universe.
Boom! Now that's what I call a big bang.
From Ceto's death, the oceans would flow. From Uranus's strikes, the stars were spawned, and so forth. Thus, the world itself was born from violence.
Starting the whole messy cycle, Uranus was overthrown by his Titan son, Kronos, who was overthrown by his Olympian son, Zeus, who battled his own son, Kratos.
As a classic bastard child of Zeus,
Part god, part mortal. In other words, I think that's considered a demigod, I believe. Over 1,000 years old. Aliases, Ghost of Sparta, God of War, Marked Warrior. I never heard that one. Like Atreus, olives, Mir, his family. I didn't know Kratos liked olives. Dislike selfish gods, so almost all gods. Sliding puzzles, who doesn't hate those? Sackboy doesn't want to talk about the All-Star Games.
Kratos was left among Spartan mortals, far exceeding all among him. He became a fierce warrior, winning many a battle, until finally cornered by ruthless barbarians.
Ares, destroy these guys who are kicking my ass, and my life is yours. A deal was made, and Kratos was joined at the bone with the Blades of Chaos, a set of chain swords and basically a badass whirlwind of flame and steel.
But Ares had a scheme. While doing work for his god, Kratos accidentally murdered his own family, permanently marked by the ashes of his wife and daughter. He was, forevermore, the Ghost of Sparta.
So, he was kinda understandably really pissed off.
I mean,
Time for
who
a
wouldn't
new
be?
God of War. The gods were crapping their togas in fear as the new God of War took out his rage on all of them. and got some new gear out of it too.
Oh,
With
yeah.
Poseidon's trident and Icarus's wings,
Like, he has such a huge ass arsenal. Majority of this is not even from the recent games. This is all from the previous original games. The Arms of Sparta, the Barbarian Hammer, the Blades of Artemis, the Blades of Chaos, his most primary weapon, which he actually hates using. The Blade of Olympus, the Eye of Atlantis, the Gauntlet of Zeus, Golden Fleece, Head of Uriel, the Head of Medusa, the Icarus Wings, Poseidon's Trident, Skirts of Uranus, the Spear of Destiny, the Sun Shield, Typhon's Bane, and so many more. And then there's the Norse weapons, his Frost Leviathan Axe, the Draupnir Spear, the Relics, Sword Hilts, Talismans, so many more. And then there's his shields, and of course, the all-important Spartan Rage, Valor and Wrath.
Kratos dominated both sea and sky. He also has a tendency to carry powerful severed heads, like
Yep.
Medusa's.
And the claws of Hades could steal souls, even the soul of Hades himself. Should have thought that one through, man.
Neither Perseus or Hercules were a match for Kratos, nor was Helios, the sun god capable of moving stars and spreading light across the entire underworld.
He fought Atlas, the Titan of Strength, who broke the load-bearing pillar of the universe. So Kratos forced him to hold up the cosmos on his own instead.
And he could do it with just one hand, according to the novelization.
Even
course.
his grandpappy Kronos failed to stop him. You know, the guy who overthrew the primordial that punched the universe into existence?
Causing shockwaves that moved over a quadrillion times faster than light.
Jesus.
A frankly incomprehensible feat,
Then there's Daddy Zeus.
who proved a serious challenge, until Kratos drew perhaps his ultimate weapon, the Blade of Olympus.
It can make tornadoes, lightning, force fields. Oh, and it can stab the hell out of you. It siphons godly energy and can pull enough to even kill Zeus. Like father, like son.
Even while Kratos ultimately released hope across the Greek world, he could only do so after annihilating everything.
Like a badass, he was
Insane.
unstoppable. Non-stop killing and sex and even more killing. And yet,
Mostly killing.
he couldn't be any more depressed.
His wife and daughter were still gone. What
Right.
was he to do?
He didn't know. He wandered aimlessly for years, somehow stumbling into Norse mythology where he met Faye, his second wife. Good start, buddy.
Kratos had a new lease on life, but he could not escape his past mistakes.
There's a reason he hid his swords in a dingy basement. Even so, Faye insisted he could do better. So he became a dad to a new boy.
Easily the toughest task he ever undertook, especially after Faye unfortunately died of a mysterious illness.
Quite frankly, fatherhood is a challenge for anyone, be they mortal or god. Lord help me if I ever become a father.
Damn it, not again! But hey, it wasn't Kratos' fault this time, and Faye left the tools he'd need to keep the boy safe,
Yep.
including the Leviathan Axe.
Yeah.
From the whirling rage of the Blades of Chaos, the Leviathan Axe was deliberate and mighty, said to rival Mjolnir itself.
Thor wishes Mjolnir was as cool as this axe. It's imbued with ice magic and a poison even the gods fear. It can be summoned to Kratos' hand from a distance, and it even shatters souls.
Kratos may have once been a sword of vengeance, but with his new weapons and a new purpose, he stood as a shield against the godly Asir.
Too bad he just can't help but get in trouble with gods.
Nope.
But now he knew how to control his anger.
Which is even more important than it sounds. Kratos' Spartan rage summons an inner strength with magical properties.
He can even get so pissed off that he straight up heals himself. That seems like the opposite of what should happen.
Not
Right.
all anger is problematic, and Kratos wields plenty of new weapons and relics to channel his rage through.
Like the Draupnir ring, which can summon a bunch of wind spears. They can absorb all types of energy and blast it back. He even has relics and magic that can warp space and slow down
Let me
time.
change the-
Naturally, he contested with the
Quality.
strongest of the Norse gods,
There we go.
including the god of thunder Thor, who was powerful enough to fight the fire giant Surtur and the world serpent Jormungandr at the same time.
Which was
Oh, and
insane.
that fire giant would be the cause of actual Ragnarok. You can't defeat me, Thor. I know, but he can.
No, because
Well,
Ragnarok
not
was
exactly.
insane.
Freyr, the rain god, held off Ragnarok for a considerable time on his own.
He
And
did.
the sheer power of Ragnarok shook Yggdrasil down to its very roots.
That's
Jesus.
the world tree, which is like a literal tree that connects the whole universe.
According to Freya, the tree's very existence supports all of creation among its boughs. Every strand transcending time, transcending space. Everything comes back to the tree.
So it's kind of like Kratos lives in a really, really, really big treehouse.
In his quest to
If you think
free the
about
Norse world, Kratos reclaimed old weapons by reckoning with his past sins, even taking up the Blade of Olympus once again.
Even better, he actually got to be a decent dad.
He did.
And now the boy is a man and also a bear.
Kratos made a lifetime of mistakes, but this future would be different. He'd be more than he was in the past, not just a god of war, but a leader, a father, and a defender, a god of hope.
He did.
This battle is sponsored by Robin Hood Gold.
With Robin Hood Gold, you can now enjoy the VIP treatment,
Ads.
receiving a
Am I
3% IRA match
I'll
on
be skipping
retirement
this. Bear
contributions.
with me.
Long ago, a
Okay.
demigod fell from the heavens, only to rise from the depths of Naraka after 12,000 years.
After 12,000 years, he's free to punch everything dumb enough to get in his way. He was the demigod of wrath, Asura.
Alongside 7 other demigod generals,
He's 12,000 and a half years old, but physically 28, good lord. Father of Mithra and husband of Durga, former member of the 8 Guardian Sentinels, likes family, Yasa, hot spring, QTEs. Dislikes 7 deities, Chakravartin, hearing his daughter cry. I think any dad would hate hearing that. Chosen inheritor of the universe, put him in Mars. This is like asking for Sora and Smash, which we did get, so, Capcom, gets work on that, yeah? Yeah.
Asura served as defender of humanity against the impure Goma, dark spirit monsters infesting the world.
And the demigods battled the Goma by wielding a mystic energy formed from human prayer, mantra.
By advancing technology with mantra, the Guardian Generals became essentially hyper-powerful mystic cyborgs.
Damn.
They could each harness mantra through a different emotional affinity. For August, it was greed. For Yasha, it was melancholy.
I'll give you one chance to guess what Asura's is.
By tapping into his wrath, Asura can take many forms for battle, like the 6-armed Vajra, a state powerful enough to subdue the embodiment of the planet's will and the source of the Goma, Vlitra.
But
Jesus.
he wasn't angry enough to put Goma Vlitra down for good. At least not yet. Of course, since he's literally powered by wrath, no enemy of Asura's would be stupid enough to do something that would make him even more mad, right? Right?
Funny you should say that.
God damn it.
First
Yep.
off, Asura is not some one-dimensional anger machine. In myth, the Asuras were powerful and aggressive beings, sure, but not inherently evil, just like Asura himself. He's a warrior, but also a husband with a daughter, Mithra,
And Mithra has the unique power to supercharge mantra energy.
which gave Asura's prideful commander, Deus, an idea. If he could weaponize Mithra, literally wiring her up to a super weapon, the Guardian Generals could maybe finally end Goma Vlitra for good.
Well, obviously, Asura wasn't gonna go along with that.
Who
so
would?
Deus framed Asura for killing the Emperor, murdered his wife, kidnapped Mithra, and then just straight up killed him. What a dick.
But true
Right.
to his nature, Asura was literally too angry to die. So long as a single part of his body remains and can possess mantra, he can climb back out of Naraka, a sort of limbo underworld between life and death.
Oh, wow.
Thanks to some coaxing from a strange golden spider,
Yeah.
he did just that, with an all-new purpose in mind.
Make the gods pay! Oh yeah, they're calling themselves gods now. Turns out they're all assholes who started sacrificing thousands of innocent people to try to power up. So Asura got really pissed off.
And through his rage, Asura's power exploded, rising enough to throw giants like ragdolls, shatter whole moons, and destroy a fellow deity, Wyzen.
Who could dwarf the planet and wreck it with just a finger. Look at this!
Oh my
Asura
god.
is so powerful, his soul cannot be manipulated by the Goma or the deities. He can propel himself with mantra to fly, harden his fists to break steel, fire explosive energy blasts.
And headbutt you so hard you wish
Propelled
you could
flight,
die even
flight,
faster.
mantra
The
reactor.
dude literally stockpiles anger into a burst of energy that can one-shot even the toughest of foes. And when he goes unlimited mode, he can rapid-fire those super attacks without overheating.
Asura's vengeance quest wasn't all shouting and explosions, though. I mean, it was a lot of that, but he also
Clearly.
tried to protect people from the gods, including a girl who very much reminded him of his own daughter.
Yeah, Asura's the kind of guy who wants to be a great dad, but all he knows how to do is punch anything that upsets his kid. Like that one dad that knocks out a ref at a Little League game.
And then the gods killed that girl too, along with her whole village, sparking Asura to unleash his berserker aura.
You know how the gods were sacrificing thousands of people to power up?
Yep.
Well, Asura got so freaking angry, he built up enough mantra to match them, even though they've been building up energy for thousands of years. Seriously,
Wait,
guys, you're
what?
pissing off the guy who literally gets more powerful the angrier he gets. What
Yeah,
did you
that's-
think was
that's
gonna happen?
smart.
Yet
idea.
even in berserker mode, Asura never lost total control.
Berserker Asura adds even more extra arms, and they're big and glowy now. The man can launch so much angry mantra, he wiped out the god's whole space fleet in seconds.
Asura's anger raised to levels so high even he couldn't contain it, scorching him into his wrath form.
Even though it hurts Asura while he's in it, this form is still perfect for absolutely shit-stomping a snobby demigod's face in. It's okay
Nice.
though, his brother-in-law punched the edge out of him.
Yasha saw the error of the deity's senseless sacrifices and teamed up with Asura for a coup against Deus.
Awesome, they're
How long did that
bros
last?
again. Just in time for Asura to hit his former boss with so much mantra that he burst. Then dive into the planet's core to obtain power equal to 1,000 arms. His mantra form.
How many?
Finally, a power capable of killing Vlitra in a big planet-busting blast.
Deus was defeated and Gaia was saved. Yet, Asura's wrath hadn't been quelled.
Tidal drop.
It turns out that spider that guided him was actually Chakravartin, the creator of mantra and the entire universe.
Well,
And
shit.
everyone's suffering was part of his plan to make Asura his heir. Chakra kidnapped Mithra, because of course he did, and
Of course he
tested
did.
Asura in the form of a massive golden Buddha statue. Check out the size of it. That thing can literally hold a galaxy in its palm. Naturally, Asura and the statue threw hands.
Enter
Of course.
the mantra reactor. Capable of holding 7 trillion souls, Asura instead used it as a vessel for a far greater power.
His own unfiltered rage. At last, Asura could show the world his real colors.
Everyone from the humans to the 7 deities to Chakravartin saw Asura's anger as a weapon, a sword for tyranny, when that was never who he was. His rage was really a shield to protect humanity, and most of all, his daughter.
A shield larger than a planet. Unbound by his past limits, Asura's ultimate destructor form effortlessly punched through asteroids larger than nebulas, dodged planet-sized lasers moving 2 quadrillion times faster than light,
Oh,
and
God.
obliterated whole stars.
Chakravartin was understandably impressed and offered Asura a chance to take his place. Asura smiled at the offer and extended his arm.
Right
Wait for
into
it.
Chakra's face, as if he was gonna let
Nice.
some god trample over more worlds.
Right.
Instead, he literally beat the QTEs out of God, obliterating him and his plans in a cosmic explosion.
But with Chakravartin dead, so was the concept of mantra itself. Those who depended on it could not survive, including Asura.
Hey, as long as Mithra was fine, it was worth it. Besides, he'll reincarnate millions of years later, still kicking ass, ready to smack a random thug, a meteor, or Ryu. Right in the
course.
balls.
It's interesting. Despite the dangers of uncontrolled anger, Asura's wrath gave him the power to save everything, all because of just one thing.
Some bastard made his daughter cry, so they had to pay. Now that's a god I can get behind.
And how? Oh.
This battle is sponsored by Prize Picks, the best place to get real
Another
money
ad, I'll be
sports
skipping that.
action.
Give me a minute.
With the-
And we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's
Time for a death battle! Real quick though, I do want to say this. In terms of predictions, I really don't see Kratos winning this. Yes, we've seen how far Kratos has gone, but Asura's clearly gone much farther, especially when he's clearly on a scale of multi-planet level, while Kratos, I'm pretty sure, is just only on the scale of just one planetary level. Asura is multiple. So I really can't see a way Kratos can win this fight. They could pull a fast one on us. They've done it before with Ben 10 and Green Lantern, unfortunately. So We'll see. Kratos, the god of war. Oh. Where is this? Oh, Mitra summoned him.
It's true then. The god of war is on Gaia. But
Wrathful deity Asura.
you do not want this fight.
Good luck talking him into reason, Kratos. See, I don't think Kratos can even match that speed. There's the Spartan Wrath. And down goes the building already. First. Sixth armed Asura. Nope, see, Kratos can't match that speed. I point out more than just the axe.
Consume you. I have been down that road before.
Yes.
Very well.
Comes Dropnir. I can't Dropnir absorb all that. And it's a 1,000-arm state. God, that's bright. Right, you can do that. Let's see, now he's real bad. And now they're in... What was that place called? It was when they... It's the realm between where they met Ratatoskr and where Sindri and Brock were living.
This is not my end!
Asura the Destructor. Yeah, no, Kratos, you cannot beat this! This beyond even Zeus. Ooh, he's trying though! He's trying!
Death has not earned me yet, Titan! But you deserve a worthy end!
He's not wrong. The Sword of Olympus!
You are a monster no longer. I never was.
True. Never was. Damn. KO!
Well, I guess Asura's wrath really is gone. But are
Damn.
we sure this is how it'd go? Even though Asura can blow up stars?
Right.
Asura had some amazing displays of apocalyptic destruction, but the full scope of their speed, experience, versatility, and power sheds a surprising light.
At first glance, speed seems like a shoo-in for Asura. Kratos is quick, but he never dodged a universe-crossing laser.
That doesn't
True.
mean he couldn't. Remember, as usual, we look at these characters at their peak, free from gameplay restrictions.
Yeah, we're looking at everything in canon, and Kratos fought and killed Helios, the sun god.
From the moment he's introduced, Helios is emphasized to be immensely powerful. Without Helios, darkness would shroud everything. His
we don't
light
want that.
was fast enough to illuminate the entire underworld while Kratos sailed through it, taking a few hours at most.
So, kinda hard to quantify, but that's consistent with the shockwaves the primordials caused that spawned the universe.
Arguments could be made for which is faster, the primordial shockwaves or Chakravartin's intergalactic lasers. Since it's so close, it's safest to assume their speeds are generally even.
But what does speed matter if you don't know how to use it? Let's cover experience.
Right.
Asura lived across centuries, obviously a lot longer than Kratos.
And while Kratos eventually learned to control his rage, Asura pretty much always had that control.
So Asura easily takes experience. But when it comes to versatility, he couldn't match all the weapons and abilities Kratos had.
Sure,
True.
Asura's quite skilled and a monster at martial arts, but his fighting style mostly relies on one thing.
A whole lot of punching.
Kratos' weapons, magic, runes, relics, and even his rage gave him far more options in combat, slowing down time, healing injuries, and most importantly, multiple weapons that could drain a variety of energies.
Of course.
Like mantra.
Yeah, when Asura
Of
loses
course.
all his mantra energy, that's it for him. So the Dropnir spears and the Blade of Olympus gave Kratos exactly what he needed. Versatility. And multiple ways to finish this for good before Asura just comes crawling back out of the underworld.
If he could, Asura's resurrections take years or whole centuries, days at best.
But all this assumes Kratos could match Asura's crazy strength. All roads lead to power, which should go to Asura, right? Look at what he can
Right.
do. If this came down to who made the bigger kaboom, he'd kick Kratos' ass in 2 seconds.
But a closer examination of their feats reveals the truth.
At his peak, Asura overpowered Chakravartin, annihilating that cosmic golden god.
By measuring the dimensions of Chakravartin's body and scaling it up to match the size of this galaxy-eclipsing statue, we can determine its volume. Add in the density of gold, for good measure assuming the form is solid throughout, and its
course.
mass far exceeds not just our galaxy, but our entire observable universe.
Destroying that big golden god would need energy on par with obliterating our universe 91,000 times.
Extremely impressive and unfathomable. However, the same idea applies to Ragnarok shaking the roots of Yggdrasil.
Right.
Ragnarok is obviously a bit of a different beast than Kratos, but what really matters is what Freyr did.
Right, Freyr, a god comparable to Kratos, held back Ragnarok's power for a significant time.
So Kratos should be capable of the same level of power, or even more.
Using an official map and knowing the world tree's branches encompass all of existence, we can measure its size and volume.
And we know this map is accurate because it shows these two realms conjoined, which we see in game.
Even if we
Right.
assume the Tree of the Realms is only 1% solid, a significant lowball that Kratos should easily scale above, Shaking such an incomprehensibly large structure would require enough force to destroy our universe's mass energy 9 million times over.
Jesus.
That's almost 100 times greater than Chakravartin's destruction. And this isn't some one-off outlier. I mean, a realm-shattering supergiant doesn't sound too different from the other Titans and Olympians Kratos defeated.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's
Right.
easy to think that we never see Kratos do anything that matches Asura, but we do. Helios' speed matches Chakravartin, and Kratos outsped him. Atlas is strong enough to lift all of reality, and Kratos overpowered him. Kronos defeated the creator of the universe in a one-on-one fight, same as Asura, and Kratos killed Kronos. Add in the clear numerical comparison of Chakravartin, Ragnarok, and Yggdrasil,
yeah,
and
we gotta
Kratos
give it to
takes
him.
the edge in power.
But hey, Capcom, if you give us Asura's Wrath 2, we'll try this again.
That'd be pretty
All right.
Asura's The Sun Rises. The god of wrath was Kratos.
The winner
Oh, God.
is Kratos.
I'll never get used to those
But
stupid puns.
what if?
Oh, an alternate ending? I see. What if he didn't have that? What if the sword didn't finish him off?
And that concludes my pitch for Asura's Wrath 2. The end. Next time on Death Battle.
What we got next? Oh, Ghost Rider. Who's he up against? Spawn? Oh.
Subscribe and join as a member to see more Death Battle.
Okay, now that'll be a good one. They literally got two. They got two killers of hell going one-on-one. This is gonna be better than Ghost Rider going against Lobo. That is going to be epic. Already off the rip. I'm gonna have to say Spawn. I'm gonna have to say Spawn because we've seen what both can do. I don't think Ghost Rider can compare to Spawn, but we'll see. Ghost Rider was able to handle Lobo of Zarnia. And I don't think the penance stare can even work on Spawn. I think that's a whole different kind of immunity altogether. But we'll see in the coming months or two. But so this was an interesting fight to witness. It wasn't as enjoyable as seeing Bowser versus Eggman. That was a whole nother fight that I definitely liked that one. But let me know what you all think in the comments below. This has been the first episode of House Odyssey Reacts, and I might do more of this in the future. Like I said, I'm going to need some videos recommended by you all, the masters and misses, as well as that can get my attention to make me want to do a blind reaction to it. But we'll see in the future. Anyway, I will see you all again very soon. Until then, masters and misses, we hope to see you again soon.